All right, let's talk about Baker Mayfield, who had a very up and down game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I quite frankly thought he just didn't play very well in this game, but then had some real key plays towards the end of the game to ultimately win it. So we'll talk about it all, the good and the bad. Let's start off with the bad. So we're going to start off with a play like this. It's a 3rd down and 9. It's going to be a blitz for the Panthers, man coverage blitz, single safety deep. Mayfield takes the snap. This blitz is picked up nicely, and he's able to step up in the pocket. As of right here, I know you can't see the whole field, but he has enough room to run for the first down. I mean, he could easily do that. He's going to elect not to, though. Instead, he throws it to an open receiver, but he misses the receiver. Trey Palmer was open there. Had Mayfield just made the throw, then nobody's saying, why don't you run for it? Because you pick up more yards. I get why he threw it, but had to throw it off balance and miss the throw. Might have been worth it in hindsight just to run and make sure you pick up the first down right there, since it was 3rd down. I think this play was also a bit of an issue for the Buccaneers. So we saw, I didn't show it in this video, but Mike Evans had a really good one-handed catch in this game that allowed them to get their first touchdown. Trying to get another touchdown here on a 3rd and goal at the 9. It is worth mentioning part of why they are at 3rd and goal at the 9 instead of at the 4 was because of a penalty. They had a lot of penalties in this game. That was another factor. But, okay, this play, Mike Evans had that great play against one-on-one. You see that Panthers player here. Well, he's actually the guy who's going to cover Evans one-on-one, but they're not showing that at the line. They're showing as though it's going to be, he's the safety who's deep on this play, meaning that there's extra attention going towards Evans. So Mayfield's going to look there at Sterling Shepard, who's kind of taken the role as the number 2 wide receiver since Chris Godwin has gone down. And listen, I think he's done some nice things, been a solid role player for them, but he's just not Chris Godwin. Watch, you're going to see it's not a horrible route, to be honest. There maybe was an opportunity. Throw is just off Shepard's fingertips. It wasn't wasn't enough to get the touchdown on that one by those two guys. Got to be able to link up if you're going to make that work. But now I want to go over here. So you see Mayfield takes a snap, and there's going to be pressure. You see him kind of trying to get out of the pressure. But let's pause here and look at the game situation. It's a 2nd down and 5. The Buccaneers have, a minute and 11 seconds left on the clock in a tie game. The Buccaneers also get the ball to start the second half. Mayfield goes for an aggressive throw, getting the ball to Cade Otton, who makes a great move after making the catch, is able to power his way for a first down. Okay, cool. You made that work. But here's the issue, is you want to be careful in these situations for 2 reasons. One, you just always want to be careful with the football, right? Turnovers aren't good. But in this situation, a turnover almost costs you double, because if you turn the ball over, not only does it mean that you don't get a possession anymore, but the Panthers do get a possession. If you don't turn the ball over, the Panthers don't even get a possession, period. So on the very next play, well, what's going to happen? First off, it's worth mentioning Cade Otton now going towards the bottom of the screen. It's a concept that he can get open on. And in fact, when this play begins, he gets open. I mean, this concept works. Right now, Cade Otton is open. Mayfield looks at him. I don't know why he doesn't just throw it now, but he waits way too long. Eventually, a Panthers player is in the area. Mayfield still makes the throw, and he turns it over. If he doesn't turn the ball over and they just, are able to get in field goal range, kick a field goal, they're up 3 points. Instead, the Panthers get another possession. They realistically probably should have scored a touchdown. Buccaneers got kind of lucky with how a call went down on Adam Thielen. Incompletion, it was ruled. But it's just a bad mistake by Mayfield. There's no getting around it. It's just a bad decision. He had another interception. This one is actually a little more forgivable, so it was an interesting play call. I'm surprised they didn't run the ball on a 3rd down and 1 when Mayfield just sat out the past couple of plays because he got banged up. So now comes back in, and I think they're trying to fool him. Everyone's expecting a run. Let's fool the Panthers and have a pass instead. Mayfield is going to take the snap. He runs the play action. And as of right here, so this is why this play goes so wrong. You see a Tampa Bay player is going from the offense's left to the offense's right. Those crossing routes are really hard to cover. So a lot of times what defenses will do is they'll do a switch, where instead of having the Panthers player designed to cover, the guy who I've circled in yellow run all the way over there. Essentially, he just signals to usually the safety. The safety then covers the Tampa Bay player, and then you can just sit back in coverage. And that's what's going to happen here. So because of this, when Mayfield sees a different player who's open, he tries to throw it, but now there's essentially a new safety that has emerged all the way over here, which you're just not ready for. Mayfield, due to the uniqueness of this play, did not notice that there was another Carolina defender there. This pass gets intercepted, and at the time, you thought that might be a dagger for the Buccaneers. Already down 3 points, the Panthers returned it deep into Tampa Bay territory. They weren't able to capitalize, and they weren't able to turn it into a touchdown. They went up 6, and then the Buccaneers offense started to get going. Usually with the running game, actually, the running game really got going. The Buccaneers took the lead 20-16 before the Panthers then took the lead of a touchdown. And that brings us to here. Mayfield has had a bad day up until this point. The running game got working enough that they were able to take the lead, but now they need passing. There's 30 seconds left. You have all 3 timeouts, but you don't have that much time. Can't be running the ball here. You got to start throwing it. On this play, it's zone coverage. You have Evans trying to get into a gap in coverage. Makes sense to look in his direction, right? Watch. Mayfield takes the snap, looks in Evans' direction, fires in that direction. There's a window. It's not a huge window, but it's a pretty big. I mean, it's a window big enough to make the throw work. Mayfield times it well. They get a big completion and are able to get close to midfield, call a timeout right away, and that's a huge play, right? It just makes the whole final drive easier. But this play was a huge one as well, where it's now 2nd down and 10, only 19 seconds left. So we always kind of forget, I feel sometimes in these situations, that you have to deal with the down and distance as well, right? If Carolina can get a couple stops, they can win. Doesn't matter how much time is left. Mayfield takes the snap, doesn't love what he sees down the field, and to make matters worse, a Carolina defender has an arm on him. If this is a sack, I don't know if Tampa Bay can recover from that. They will only have 1 timeout. They would have to burn it, one of theirs, right? So they only have 1 timeout left. They're now in a 3rd down and 17. That's tough. But Mayfield is going to get out of that. He rushes forward, and he even saves a timeout, which ended up mattering here, but is able to also get past the 1st down marker. Really good stuff there. And then even this play. So they got 5 yards, only killed 5 seconds, and said, you know what? Let's try it again. We have 6 seconds left in a timeout. The coaching staff is trusting Baker Mayfield. You have Sterling Shepard right here. And it's interesting. I always kind of feel like on these plays, why aren't you playing more aggressive if you're the Panthers? Like, if the Buccaneers decide to try a Hail Mary, okay, so be it. Hope that you can win your one-on-one matchup and win the game. Like, have guys play up at the line. I don't really get why Shepard has so much space here, but Mayfield's going to take advantage. Watch him, takes the snap, quickly gets it over there. A Carolina player broke well, but it just due to the formation, it wasn't going to work. And because of that, the Buccaneers were able to call their last time out. That gave them enough space to kick a game-tying field goal. And then in overtime, they miss a field goal, but then the Panthers fumble. And this play was a very good one. Mayfield was very good in overtime as well. Did take a sack, but other than that, was very good. This play, it's going to be zone coverage. You see Evans' route going over the middle. Watch as Mayfield takes the snap, runs a play action. Evans does get open here. You see there. It's not a huge window again, but it's a window you expect to be hit. Baker throws it. They are able to get the big completion. I mean, that was essentially the Buccaneers' strategy toward the end, was run the ball and then throw it to Mike Evans. Not a bad strategy. Probably one they'll continue using throughout the rest of the season. So yeah, I mean, listen, it is, I think, impressive for Mayfield, the fact that despite how bad he played at times in this game, he was able to, stay focused and make the plays he had to make at the end to win the game. Of course, there will be games where you aren't able to overcome those mistakes. There just will, but this game was not one of them, so got to give them credit for rallying at the end. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.